It's been a crazy weekend of action so far, and we're only halfway through. Welcome, everyone, to day 2 of week 1 of the OCL. I'm Mercury, taking the reins from where the incredible Hallow left off yesterday. Now, today, we've got another incredible match from Group A as these teams desperately compete for a spot in playoffs. Who's playing today? They will, and they're facing off against the fearsome Chudlings, who are proving the haters wrong, that's for sure. But I won't be going through this alone. I'm grateful to be joined by one of the great casting duos here in Oceania, Carrix and Mabinogi. How are you?
Not bad at all. Glad to be here, making my debut here in the OCL. So keen to get going.
I'm here. I'm back. You're not getting rid of me that quickly. So here again for another round of OCL. Happy. We saw a great performance out of the Dream Team yesterday up against Chinese Agricultural Product. This time, I think the Chudling's hot on the heels of the Dream Team. They're going to want to keep that run going.
Absolutely. And looking at those standings as we'll get into it a little bit further on, it's a little bit of an upset given the caliber of the players here on who's playing today. They're down 1-3 in games across the weekend so far, and they've got a little bit to answer for.
Oh, yeah. Sure. You look at the names on who's playing today. You've got so much talent that names that you've seen before. You've got Poltron and Foreigner, who have been long time LCO OPL mainstays, and just seeing them sort of struggle against some of these other teams right at the bottom of the ladder so far in Group A. That's not where you expect this sort of veterancy to be.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sort of expecting a bit of a bounce back, though. I think today should be a really interesting match. It's going to define where these teams go for the rest of this season, I think. So keen eyes to see if they can get things back together.
And Chudlings currently occupying that second spot in the in Group A, 2 wins and that loss, but a lot better than we've seen from them in the past in Oceania. So I hope they can keep things up. But we're about to get into drafts, so casters, take it away.
Gladly. We can stop getting completely mogged by Mercury as we do head over towards draft. What kind of picks are we really looking out for at the moment, Marby, as we do just wait for the draft to start? I know yesterday we had some pretty exciting ones. Was there anything that really caught your eye?
Well, so yesterday we saw quite a lot of the Wen brothers. We saw Yono and Yasuo both being played in the top lane, which was the big thing that was sort of a run against meta form that you would have seen at MSI, seen at the this was the big standout for the CIP. It wasn't enough to get them over the line. It was a little bit disconnected, and then on the other side of the Dream Team, we saw a wonderful draft priority of this Gragas that ended up being flexed into the support role by Bulldog. So that's the beauty of this sort of level of league. You get you get a lot more weirdness. You get a step away from that sort of standardized meta. You get the fun meta picks that people love to bring out solo queue.
Yeah, and I think flex picks are actually one of the things that can really set you apart when you are playing at this level, as we do have the picks coming in thick and fast. There's a Blitzcrank first pick on my screen.
That's okay. First pick Blitzcrank is very, very much throwing down the gauntlet, throwing down the rocket at that, because I feel like that should be an easy count. You can quite easily counter that with something alongside the Braum, but the Veigar lock-in alongside the Akali, not quite sure where those will end up. Veigar can swap all over the place. Akali, both solo lanes potentially, but most likely a mid lane for Stella. What is going to happen here as that Volibear is hovered?
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to pick the Veigar and the Akali together as... Draft for a second. I'm sure we'll get it back. No worries. Assuming those are the real picks, of course, I think the Akali is a really good early pick away. When you have these high-level mid laners, they can put on a show on that character. The Veigar as well. Veigar bot is really good. We've seen a lot of talk around the league community when you look at MSI and in a lot of other sort of competitions, the mage bot has been dominating. Veigar has not been number one in those majors, but I do think for a long time in solo queue and the like, he's been incredibly dominant. So really like picking this up and we can see draft. No, you guys can't yet, but we'll keep you posted as Volibear, Annie, and Aurora also locked in. That is a lot of AP.
A lot of AP, especially on the side of on the side of who's playing today, because that means Veigar is sort of Veigar couldn't flip to support, but okay.
Hang on, nope,
never mind.
Got a very different
Not everything we've said before.
Yep. We haven't. Okay, we're just gonna have to wait until we see things. All right. There's perhaps some issues going on, but that's fine. We will power through. We will bring you what we know when we know it. But it may well be that there was a little bit of. Let's just see. So apparently, the draft at the moment is Neferi, Ezreal, Nautilus, and Ziggs, Nocturne, Silas that has been picked up so far. We'll have to
yes
keep it going. I think so far, getting Ziggs and the Silas and the Nocturne, honestly, I wanted to like identify a pick, but then realized that all three are actually really good.
Yeah, the Nocturne is one of the strongest junglers of the patch. Not so much just around that paranoia combo with things like the with the Aurora, with the Orianna, but just like is in such a state where you can get in as a really strong duelist early. Ziggs, a nice safe blind, lets you open up playing through your top and mid laners. On the other side, Neferi first pick, safe, doesn't show anything. Ezreal, Nautilus, it's a solid bot lane. It's one you can play through. It's also one you can leave on your own, so nothing revealed yet from that side. So
yeah, I really like that. Just always being able to just, as I said, we will let you know more picks when we get to them. So we're gonna have to talk about this first half of the drafts. Being able to just leave that bot lane is so strong for supports at the moment. Just being able to go cause a bit of chaos around scuttle fights, around mid lane. You know, we sometimes see, you know, players like Carrier getting all the way up to the top side. Maybe we'll see that out of Chudlings or who's playing today. Obviously, they are at the exact same level because OCE is the best region in the world. That's why they don't let us into any competition. More bans have come through. I probably don't need to go through the bans, but Rel is going to be the answer into the Nautilus. I actually really like that. I think Rel can do really well into things like Nautilus, into Neferi. These champions that want to dive onto the backline, just being able to hit a good Magnet Storm really holds them up.
Yeah, the ones that were taken off the board were the Camille and the Rakan Sport, so wanting to sort of reduce that engage potential, but Rel is still on the board. Rel is a premier engage pick. Not quite the same sort of level of engage range, but the capacity for an explosive big Magnet Storm into the follow-up of this Mega Inferno Bomb. That's the one. Not Super Mega Death Bomb.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, you've got that big sort of combo potential going in already. Then I guess looking at the other side of what was banned away by WPT, who's playing today, you see the Rise and the Aurora taking out some of these mid lane picks, wanting to give that Silas as safe a matchup as possible.
And it looks like we're getting ready to head onto the Rift, and I'm so excited to bring you that one. Oh, never mind. We are going to bring back in the most handsome man in OCE in just a little bit, as Mercury is going to come have a chat.
I'm back. You couldn't get rid of me fast enough, and I'm just finding out that I've got another Perthy on the call. That's quite fun to find out about. But no, I'm excited to see how this draft goes ahead. What were the things that you were, because obviously we talked about or you guys talked about the mage bot lane, and I think that there are definitely some counters with that. Specifically with like the the big tanks top lane, you don't have enough DPS to deal with them. But what are you guys sort of thinking about this draft now that we've seen it?
Currently I think the playthrough, it's been the pivot on, let me restart again. The Ziggs bot lane is a nice safe pick, but you need to find that sort of more consistent damage coming in through your solo lanes in that case. Silas and Olaf are the ones that round that out for the side of who's playing today. I think you can absolutely work with that. Olaf can tear apart a front line if left to his own devices. Of course, his preferred thing is to run straight through and destroy the back line, But once that backline's dead, he has more than enough damage to carry it through. And against what is ultimately just a Nautilus and a Renekton, not the strongest, not the beefiest frontline in the world. So there's going to be more than enough damage to deal with that. On the other side, it's all about diving past whatever comes their way and just blowing up the Ziggs, blowing up the... I guess just the Ziggs, really. Ziggs is the only backline champion. It's going to be full frontal, full contact team fighting, as has been coined, where the two sides just try and dive each other's backlines, kill the backlines, and then the front lines will figure out what they're doing afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be a real game of can you play keep away well enough. As much as obviously Renekton, Nautilus, and Neferi do want to go in, they have a pretty hard job protecting a Syndra and an Ezreal. These are champions, obviously, that can peel pretty well, but there's a lot of peeling to do. And I think it is just going to come down to how well does the Nocturne connect with the backline, sort of as Marby was saying, it's this full contact gameplay. If the Nocturne lands and is able to sort of cycle his spells, I think the fights are going to be over incredibly fast. But if they're not over very, very fast, I think the Syndra and the Ezreal do more damage.
So I want to get your, as we head into the head-to-head in just a moment, I want to get your predictions heading into this first game. Obviously, it's a best of two, so either team will have that potential of equalizing and getting that draw. Probably better for one of these teams than the other. But what are your predictions heading into this first game, given the draft?
Marby?
This time for hot takes. Give it to me.
All right. I think WPT have a much better draft. It's a very coherent draft. It's going. Ziggs is sort of left on an island, but that's what they're picked for, to stay away and throw bombs and just hope for the best. But I think that team fighting core, that dive core of Silas, Ziggs, and Silas, Olaf, and Nocturne, it's just too good. There's not really a great way for the teams to counter it. Nautilus can drop his ultimate in response, but realistically, Olaf doesn't care. Nocturne flying in doesn't care. Silas does care, but Silas is a brawly boy. He wants to get as many Kingslayer procs off as possible. It should be fine. However, that said, it is not nameplates off. Chudlings are currently on a better win streak, so I don't think it's big enough to current run a form.
We're going to take a look at that head-to-head as well to see exactly the names. You know them, you love them. You've seen them all across this region throughout the years. My eyes have to be in that jungle as the position that I'm most excited to see. Erdogan going up against Foreigner. These are some crazy names here on the second day of this tournament being streamed. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. We love seeing these big names, these ones that really draw the eye. And I think the jungle matchup is going to be sort of mission critical in this game. Sort of what Marby was getting at is the really cohesive team comp from who's playing today. It's going to be about, can you survive the early game? Can you survive when the Rel is going to leave lane? Just leave the Ziggs alone. Go try and cause chaos. And I think if Erdogan can sort of, on the Neferi, inject his own chaos, force some dives, put pressure where it matters so that it's not who's playing today calling the shots constantly. That's who I'm most looking at to help his team survive that first 15 or so minutes.
Yeah,
and the thing with you go.
Oh, sorry. I think carrying on with that, like Neferi can potentially impact ganks a little bit earlier than the Nocturne. So with that in mind, Nautilus and Ezreal do want to try and punish that pre-lost chapter phase of the game. To really push down Ziggs as much as possible and make sure that he is not very effective carrying on.
And if that Ziggs doesn't get threatened early game, there isn't much that you can really do to deal with that wave clear, especially towards the mid game. Once the lost chapter, once those items come online, we've seen, over the course of the past month now, just why this champion is an absolute menace. And then you've got the tower destruction capabilities later on. This team could be quite frightening indeed, especially with all the dive at their disposal. It's gonna be tough here, but this is the real challenge for this team. So far they've had a pretty good run, but it's going to be a strong team composition, a players that we've seen consistently show up across the years, this is going to be a really difficult challenge for them. I'm excited to see if they can overcome it.
Yeah, what I do like what the Chudlings have done here is I think they're making the call that they are the better team. And you sometimes see that in drafts. And I know that sounds a little bit silly because you should always assume that you're the better team. But they've just said, like, whatever, we can see that you have this death ball comp. You're going to run at us, but we're better than you. We're going to fend you off. We're going to not let you just win in the first 15 minutes of the game. And I think I like that call. So I think we are going to go in and perhaps see how the draft played out. And I'm kind of curious how these picks did fall.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see that as well. So we'll have the draft in here in a moment. I think, I'm looking at it, right? The Olaf Nocturne, that dive potential. This immobile pair of carries here is going to be quite a target, I'll have to say. Heading into that we have the draft here in a way, so we can see how those bans ended up coming about. We'll have that in just a moment for you guys.
Here we go. We do have the draft on your screen so we can see how things played out. Now we have been talking a little bit about how this ends up, but of course the order that it all comes in, they're actually just going to be picking in roll order, of course. What are we even talking about? It doesn't matter. We should zoom through this one. It is worth noting the bans, particularly from who's playing today. Those are target bans. There's a Hui and a Talon taken away. Those are not tier list bans, to say the least.
Oh, for sure. Talon, Erdogan has been kind of spamming that one in solo queue. Given the sort of presence of the sort of assassin fighters in the jungle, I think, this taking away that comfort is going to be quite important. But falling back onto the Neferi, stylistically, much the same type of thing, and perhaps a bit more bruisier, a bit more ready to take the long, brawly, scrappy team fights. The Renekton ended up being sort of the, not the last pick, but the last pick on blue side, so blue 5. And that's just a nice, safe blind pick given what was sort of taken away. Which I guess realistically wasn't that much, maybe just the Jace. But in the end, that's going to be a big point of pressure. It's going to have to sort of live on its own, I think, in the early levels. That's fine. Renekton has that capacity because, as mentioned before, attacking that Ziggs in the early game, trying to make the use of that pre-lost chapter weakness, where Ziggs can be punished, where he doesn't have the ability to just infinitely clear waves. That's going to be the crucial point to play around for the Nautilus, for the Ezreal. And get Ezreal out to a good lead. That's wonderful.
Exactly. You can see the full team comps on your team now. We've been alluding to them. We've been dancing around them, but there it is. I think if I'm who's playing today fan, I'm really, really looking at Foreigner and Ayamaru to really bring this one home. I think that Nocturne Olaf has to get it done. They have to really carry this team. They have to inject a lot of chaos around that first paranoia, around around Olaf roams, perhaps around a scrub fight, a herald fight, that kind of thing is where I'm really looking.
Yeah, I think looking into that sort of strength of the sort of playing around that early lane pressure, again, also out of mid lane, because melee versus range matchup, it will come down to early level 1. Silas can absolutely control that lane if he lands a good Absconder Duct early. But beyond that, it should, in all things going equal, it should realistically be Syndra having that sort of early push, early levels as we're getting pushed. So there's a lot of early pressure to try and get those objectives rolling, as said. So I want to see how well WPT can sort of hold on through that sort of those very early stages of the game and pull into mid game. We saw yesterday TD2 was pretty much playing that masterfully. They were falling down quite far to the cultural Chinese agricultural product, but they pulled it back. WPT, you have so much experience. You have Poltron, who is a long-time coach, sitting in your support position. You should be able to play around this sort of macro game quite wonderful.
That we should, and we are not too far away from heading on to Summoner's Rift. We can get ourselves off the camera and get the people that really matter, Chudlings, and who's playing today. And I know who a lot of us are going for, and of course is the Chudlings, because we are all Chuds here on this beautiful day.
I mean, I do have to say, Chudlings may be up there contending for my favorite team name in the tournament.
It's up there, yeah.
It's pretty good. On the other side of the other group, we do have like the Hungry Hippos, which great memories playing that as a youngin. So, but the Chudlings, they are a bunch of names who don't really know. We haven't really seen like hit the big leagues quite yet. So it's their time. They're going to want to be making a good case for themselves before they head into things like focus into those OPL, the LCP qualifiers later on in the year, if they choose to go that route. So it's their time. There are big names to fell, big giants to take down. You want to be that. You want to be David. You want to have that sling. This is your chance.
And here we go straight on to Summoner's Rift. It is Chudlings taking on who's playing today. Excited for this one, Marby. I'm always keen for more Oceanic League of Legends. We need more of it in the world. Keen to be part of it. As nothing super exciting level 1. I say that as a hook lands. It is just going to be trading back and forth in the bot lane. Poltron, he's on the run. He's stunned up. He's gone down. And the Chudlings draw first blood.
Chudlings strike first. Poltron is certainly not allowed to play for the first couple of seconds of this game. A very ambitious crash down to follow up on the hook, but just ends up getting too far forward and just run down by that Ezreal. Hook nearly lands again, so great start coming out from the side of Aquilin and Reela. And this is going to put a little bit of a spanner in the works, but as both junglers are going to path down towards that bot side, this advantage for the Ezreal Nautilus, that could just be so much advantage, just giving the potential for this to explode into an even greater lead. As again, first blood, that should just mean a nice early back for a quick tier for Reela.
Yeah, exactly. Reela in a really strong position. This also, they obviously just get level 2 first by default. They've just hit that there. This is going to be who's playing today. Not able to, oh no, it's happening again as the flash away there from Depash. It just has to get out. It's bot lane domination early.
Yeah, and this is even worse because Poltron dying, yeah, that's whatever. It's just the support, but this time, now your Ziggs is in real struggle city because it's going to stick around with those pots regenning a little bit. But again, bot lane junglers are heading down towards that bot side. This could be a little bit of a struggle as, never mind, Aqualin's going to take the opportunity to cheat his way in towards the mid lane, maybe scout into that jungle, or just keep Stella down. Just looks like he's bypassing Foreigner entirely. Gonna find anything?
I think this is the sort of this. I don't know if he's going to find anything here. He's just going to be able to hang out in this brush, maybe get something off a Scatter the Weak. Throws the hook out, but no. The abscond away from Stella is just fine. But he's allowed to do this. There's basically no cost, even though he ends up sort of wasting his time, but it just doesn't matter because the early advantage that they got, his Ezreal's reset the lane, has actually chosen to go the Cull over the early tier. But he's still getting good trades, and with Nefiri here as well. The flash forward from the Ezreal. They're trying to find it. The daggers land. Poltron does his best with a flash under the tower. We go. We want to get this one done. We've got one. We can't get two. But the Rel getting the kill means this is a big win for the Chudlings.
Even more time for Ziggs kept out of lane, and the wave has been held in such a nice spot that it's going to be really hard for the pushback. I guess with that teleport coming in now, I should be able to crash that wave before Reela gets back to lane. But I like the attempt there as and Zella is starting to struggle a little bit. They're finding time.
Never mind, he doesn't think so. As there is no struggle, there is only solo kills, Marby, and the Chudlings strike once more.
As Chudlings proving me wrong, putting the pedal to the metal with this early game con. Zayla just in a much better position than I expected. I'm always wary of fighting an Olaf on low health. That's where he likes to bait you in a little bit, but in the end, never mind. Zayla had that Call the Meek, and then it came into great effect there, as Foreigner has just been stuck on the full clear path.
I think we are going to be able to get a replay of some of this early game action. There has been so much of it so far, obviously. Let's have a look at how this played out. We didn't actually see the early bit. It was just a massive dominance. He hit that level 6 first.
Hey. Oh, this is a
hang on, this is a second kill.
We missed this entirely. Yeah, we missed that entirely.
That we did. So yeah, no, I'm confused.
Wait. Yeah, no, I am also confused. There is
I'm very confused. It's all right. Let's just keep this one going. The hook has landed in the jungle. Foreigner is in trouble. The teams are on the screen. The fights are brewing. Down goes Nautilus. The Fury on the run as well. Erdogan has to find his way out. Poltron wants to hex flash over the wall. Could go absolutely massive. Gets back on the horse. He lands the double stun. It's a good jump over the wall from Erdogan, but doesn't matter. Gets abducted. Taken down. In goes Silas. Needs to find another Kingslayer. Hasn't found it yet. Just backing out of the fight. Poltron lands another good stun. They're trying to keep active. You're on the wrong side of the tracks, mate. And in we go. We slay a king. We take them down. Estella goes huge.
so much going on there, and it winds up with a 4-0. Silas, this is so gonna change the dynamic of the mid lane, as I guess we've been updated on that kill in the top side for Sailor. Now has 2 on the scoreboard. 5 for 5 across the board, but that's a huge comeback for the side of WPT, who are falling so far behind, and it looks like a good collapse. But in the end, yeah, Stella walks away fine. Stella walks away huge, played his heart out, but couldn't quite get it done. Now, the tempo has not stopped from Chudlings. They want to just keep up the pressure. They're not going to let that knock them back. Going.
Exactly. It's interesting because it doesn't necessarily change where the strength of their competition if you're in the Chud lane. Reeler is still very, very strong. You still have a really strong Crocodile on the top side with Zayla. Saw is in some trouble. You're now a Syndra facing down a 4-0 Silas, has that Hextech Alternator really early, also had already picked up the Dark Steel. We've got 8 stacks on that ring. I think we might be getting our reading Naplands today, as I think there's a Magi Soul Stealer in our future, Marby. So that helps WPT a lot, but they need to move this Silas around the map. They need to leverage this advantage. They've got Nocturne level 6. You've got Silas. I want to see a stolen ult, something. Probably just take the Syndra ult. Really, it's not the best ult in the world, but it's not terrible. Nick that, go down to the bot side, try and find Neferi on Vision, something like that. Throw Nocturne, throw Silas, pick yourselves up some more.
Yeah, nice little outplay button. It never goes amiss. You can't go wrong with it. So, and this pressure from the bot lane has been there all game, and it's continuing to make pace. So they're always pushed up. The Ezreal and Nautilus are always there to be attacked. And I guess if you don't want to take that ultimate, you can just walk down, steal that death charge for yourself, and that is one of the main ways you have of getting on top of the circuit.
Here we go. The Paranoia has been ripped, but it's a lovely scatter the weak. Saw keeps himself safe, and now the return of Erdogan comes in, shuts down the Silas, gets a reset, will jump himself onto Foreigner as well, and he does not fear the tower, drops aggro. Unfortunately does lead to Saw's death, but it's a 2-for-1. You'll take those.
But in the bot lane, Aquilin has fallen down, just an overextension, trying to punish this bot lane once again, and he pays the price this time. But so across the map, it is that 2-for-2, and WPT coming out fine. They're enjoying their ability to scale. They're only about 1,000 gold down, and this top side, even though Zayla has managed to net themselves 2 solo kills and so much of the gold lead just by themselves, and left to its own devices. No decision to go up there and impact it. No decision to bail out the Olaf. Just waiting to see. I want to see this pressure land down, especially as these grubs are now available to take. This should be the next big fight. We see Nautilus already making their way up there.
Stella just went for a walk to make sure that, yes, indeed, the dragon was taken. Don't worry, mate.
You get a note. You do get told that. They do tell you.
You have to make sure. No, he was just roaming. Just having a laugh at it. As as you said, this is the Chudlings in a really dominant position. Exactly.
Playing too much classic on BBE, I guess. Doesn't tell you that.
Yeah, true. That's actually really true. It is sort of the opposite of what Who's Playing Today needed. I think if they had come out of laning phase and had been WPT, say 1,000, maybe 1,500 gold ahead, Chudlings would be in comfort zone. They know that this composition does well as the game goes. They get more and more tools to peel this strong dive. Now we're in the nightmare position of actually it's Chudlings that are 1,000 gold ahead in the early game.
Yeah, unfortunately, all that early game gold is on that Renekton. So really need to see them deliver across the map because
Hang on.
I don't know about
There's a clash. There's a scuffle at the grubs. Erdogan surrenders the position early. We'll just say, all right, you guys have moved a little bit more, a little bit faster. You can have the grubs. We'll take the next one.
Yeah, Zayla a little bit late. Rel in position first. They just call it off. Zayla not having that being taken down to half health, not quite able to do that. It's a nice stun will land onto Voltron, no follow-up. And that's just a nice little bit of advantage. And given the side lanes for WPT are going to be quite strong as the game progresses, Silas and Olaf are both quite scary. Alongside that sort of long-range poke and siege of the Ziggs, Towers are not going to be feeling super comfortable right now. Lots of debate whether fighting for those grubs.
Oh, the hook lands. It's a max range. Stellar in trouble. They go under the tower once more, and Erdogan adds a fourth. The pack is biting.
Erdogan is getting right back up there. Got invested into that Cyclist Sword straight away, as we're going to see a replay here. Yep, just this play again. Going to be a good setup. Nice hook. Bit of a slow from the Scarrow Week. Even though that Kingslayer nullifies most of that unleashed power, there's still enough done for Nefertiti.
Exactly, there's enough damage coming in. We come back to live and see a big wave being crashed in top. This Renekton is still dominating the plays. Here we go, the fight back in mid. But Flash is a good summoner spell, I've been told. The Saw is able to get away from that one, but trading a Nocturne off the plan. Take those, but we come immediately back. And once again, Erdogan, he's got under a tower, Marby. He lives there as they do pick up another kill. That one will go over to Reela, and the Chudlings are absolutely resplendent. The replay immediately. We just watch it again back there. It's a lot of damage that came in onto Reela, but they knew what the amount they could take was. Doesn't matter. And we come back to a biff on the top side. No, doesn't go anywhere. As at this point, I think the Chudlings have broken WPT's back.
And then able to just play a little bit. There was an attempt onto Saw, which does force him out of lane, having just used that teleport. Not a kill, but still more time out of lane for the side of Saw, out for that Syndra. Hasn't really mattered, because despite that 4k gold lead, there's still a solid CS lead, about 20 CS, and a level advantage for Saw, so they've been quite comfortable despite that 4k, those 4 kills going over to the Silas early. They haven't really manifested into anything, has not been able to get out of lane, has not been able to impact the map, and keeping these sort of standard lanes going has benefited the Chudlings across this completely. Just 3k gold lead, 1k in both top and bot, and Thor has crawled it back even. It's just not coming up. Nothing is working out for the WPT.
The abduct. Stella does well, but it was an even better scatter the week. Saw played that to absolute perfection. And all they really get away with is a stolen Nautilus ult. And on the top side, a solo kill has come through as the Renekton picks up a third. Zayla going huge, but the paranoia is here. Can the Chudlings' nightmares be realized? There is Aquilin going down, and not bad there by Foreigner. True Shot Barrage whips across a couple. Do we go again? We should have numbers on the bot side if we're WPT. They go in.
Oh, back to replay.
It's all right. We'll get back to it. We go straight back to live as the Chudlings are being cut down. Saw has fallen over the wall. Erdogan reckons he's got this. Takes away that KFC chicken. Lovely in-bomb there. Dodges a lot. Flashes away. He's doing so much. It's not quite enough. Oh, and Ace coming in. He needs to be speaking to them. all of them incredibly low health, and he is incredibly low himself. He will go down, and the King Player healing is here. Who's playing today? I think we know.
Just a knife's edge, but the ants, they go marching one by one, and the chudlings do not have it all together. They can't get it across the line. Peel is so close for Reela, almost picking up big numbers. It does mean that the dragon is going to live another day. And on the top side, we saw Zayla take a kill. We saw him take a tower. He is off to the races, fully completed that Black Cleaver already. He needs to join these fights. If he teleports down, that changes everything in that scuffle. As the dragon, round 2 for the dragon comes alive, he has to be there this time.
Totally agree. Need to see this Renekton getting out of lane, using that enormous gold lead. This Renekton is by far the strongest champion on the map. Needs to be involved in the fights. As we go back, we get the dragon set up. One thing that was sort of, because everyone was so low, the vision setup wasn't there. Despite WPT, they win that fight, but they don't get to set up their ward, so it is Erdogan. Good first attempt at the dragon. I think WPT are just going to have to let this one go. It will be the 2 early dragons. Totally.
Yeah, you have to waste those 8 seconds going back to base, whereas the dead people just get to respawn for free. So they actually do get to get out onto that map first, pick up that dragon, and now Repelled is point of call on the map. Again, big strength for Zayla. He's here, he's in position, and I think WPT, you might just want to let this one go, try and keep playing around. Move your Ziggs into the mid lane, play through these side lanes, try and match Scour up into Zayla, give poor Olaf a little bit of breathing room. Just try and farm and scale himself back into this game because he is only just now completing that experimental Hexplate. And he is not going to be able to survive running all the way back to...
Oh no! Speaking of surviving, Saw has made it hard. Lands that ultimate will go down to Foreigner on the other side, but it's a paranoia spent just to get the 1-for-1. It's not what we want.
Not what we want at all.
Look at how this went. It must just be a scat of the week.
Yeah, just max range scatter the week into the outplay button, and good luck. What can you do there?
We come back to live. Poltron is in a little bit of trouble, does flash away from the Nautilus hook. There is a Naut ult, but they're going to choose not to pull the trigger on it. I think they can just chase him down the regular way, and they're right, as Erdogan will add a 5th to his name. He is enormous. On the Neferi, as you said before, the Cyclo Sword is doing a huge amount of damage. Ooh, doesn't quite stop the recall. Just about gets away.
Unlucky, but now going to find that quick recall thanks to the Rift Herald and Power. No, never mind. Just wanting to keep that pressure on them. Taylor's just playing his own game. He's not had to leave this top lane at all. And there's been no response up there. No attempt to catch him out from overextending. Yes, realistically, he hasn't been, but Cutland's just putting so much pressure on the map. WPT do not know how to respond. Foreigner and Poltron have been very out of sorts, not necessarily linking up together quite as effectively as you would hope from players of their caliber. We can call that cast a blessing, you know, we just say they're doing poorly and then they find a great attack. No, not going to be able to find anything on that. Unfortunately for them, they're not able to convert that into anything, just a little bit of gold as great crash down onto the Neferi, not given any room to utilize that W to get out of danger. And then all the damage comes through, and the Renekton, we've been saying they need to get involved, but just picked such a terrible time to do so, handing over a shutdown to the side of WPT. And this gold lead keeps shrinking. It's now down to just under 1,000 gold. And this is probably the angle for a lot of these players to get, and for the bot side to carry this failing Olaf, who managed to pick up an assist somewhere along the way. saw that happened during a replay. I completely missed that. But yeah, Paulson sort of paying for his carry sins there as much. Learn those tower rings, I guess.
It happens. It happens. We have brain fades. We make mistakes. They're just luring them into the trap. But I wanted to go back to what you were saying before, is that with the gold lead, it's now just over that 1,000 gold for Chudlings, but it is entirely on Zayla, so he has to be involved in these plays. If he's not here, they're actually significantly behind. Disconnected is forced to constantly be...
Yeah, the only thing I would say is you would like that sort of flows from that center to soften someone up a little bit, plus the side lane is attackable.
The cat going in. Stella is in trouble. The Neferi's there, but he's got help. Able to zone them away. Zayla is very far ahead of the rest of his team. Feared up, knocked back. A great scatter the week makes the play work. They pick up one. That Nocturne has fallen. The WPT, they think they've got position as I disconnect mid-fight.
Well, in that situation, they're going to pull through this mid lane.
Has been popped on the run. Chudlings just trying to force them back. They've summoned up the Herald. They'll crack the mid tower.
Zig's not pushing forward down that lane quite enough to crack that tower themselves, as it's a catch just onto Silas, just coming out of a strange angle. Now, Dominus does keep him alive for a very long time, but all this commitment, this big Renekton is able to chase extremely deep and get back out. And then great scout of the week to catch Nocturne out on the side. On the bottom there, we see Neferi just taking the dragon in the meantime, and a nice attempt to sort of try and pivot towards mid lane as Olaf is just going to die.
Amaru has been caught. The weak was scattered, and it's another solo kill picked up for Saw. He's now at 5 kills on the Syndra. For the Nightmare scenario, you do not want that champion being scaled up, able to get those early transcendences, early ability upgrades. A hook land in onto Poltron. They're going to dive in. Good job there by Stella. He's able to zone them back. A huge bomb as well. Directly onto Reela's head.
That charge into the big bomb is going to make Ace's life a little bit difficult, but heals up fairly nicely. Now they're pinging this Baron, so I don't necessarily know if the setup is quite there for it, but they just really want to lure in WPT. The ultimate has been sent from the side of Stella, from the side of Despache. Coroner's ultimate is just about to come up.
There's a Paranoia available for Foreigner. Can get into the pit. It might come down to a smite fight. They're not turning the Nocturne away. There's a dive onto Aquilon. Pops that Ragnarok. They're zoning back. There's the Paranoia. Needs to use it to get into the pit. There he goes. He's getting a lot of damage down. He kills the enemy jungler. He secures the Baron. And who's playing today? Come out massive. They win the fight. They win the objective. And they slingshot themselves into the lead.
Chudling is just not able to make a decision. They should have been looking for that fight, but they commit to the Baron, take it down so low, but they don't burst it down. Gives that Paranoia avenue in. Blows, they get blown up in the team fight because they have split decision making, taking so much damage from this Dominator Baron. And now the Chudlings, they've overstepped. Who's playing today are back to even. They have Baron in pocket. They can salvage this a little bit. Amaru is dead, so that's one of your split pushes not going to be able to utilize that Baron properly. But if you can just play 4-1 with Stella on the side lane, you are still going to achieve this as much of this Baron as possible. Have a Ziggs to take down towers on low health. You can just play and catch all the standing gold on the map.
Exactly. And we can see the collapse is coming in already. There's an outer tower still standing in the top side. They're just going to go collect their free money. We love that as just put them even further ahead. There's nothing that can be done. A Baron up Ziggs will eat those towers for breakfast. Actually pretty good here by the Chuglings, just recognizing that Saw had a window to go to the bot side. They knew where the Nocturne was. They knew that there wasn't going to be a Paranoia just jump in immediately. But a top lane outer, a top lane inner. It's already a pretty good Baron power play. Thrown away there by Zayla, just trying to prevent easy access to the mid lane. If they can keep that wave shoved out, they might be able to keep that mid inner open. Because the big thing here is that Chuglings, despite everything that went wrong at Baron, they are on Soul Point.
Yeah, they have managed to pick that up. They got a good push into the bot lane as well, so offsetting at least one of those towers. And as it's still a minute left on that Baron power play, yes, Dragon will be coming up soon-ish. I don't quite have the timer on that. So they will be able to utilize this Baron to sort of set themselves up, deny that Soul Point to Will, who's playing today. And I guess only being able to take down 2 towers has meant a good hold from the side of Chuglings to the bot lane, on the mid lane rather.
Being burned. Let's try to catch this Olaf, but he goes down regardless. A little bit of a wasted TP here now for Zayla. Shouldn't matter too much. He would be able to rotate in. But if I think Maru's not going to have his, well, he might have by the time he's formed, but not sure on the decision. Don't think it's going to be punished. I think the setup is fine.
Soa still has theirs, so they can still play around to teleport to an extent. This does mean that a big flank with that TP shield is not going to be there for the side of Zayla. And they're just going to have to play this as front to back as well as they can. And they have not... They've been generally pretty good at these fights, as we're going to see catch. Actually, Olaf making the play into the mid lane, just not respecting the damage, not respecting how far behind they are. And it is, in fact, the Chuglings on Baron.
Here we go. The dragon is stolen. Foreigner has the better smite, but he fends it off for now. Will pay for it with his life, but that's a trade every jungler is happy to make.
And Sokar's just won.
Taylor is in trouble. Just a kite back, but in comes Nocturne. The Ragnarok is popped. Doesn't get a lot done. He takes half of his health. Is on the run. Will get hunted down as well. Big kill by Erdogan. They need to run away. Stella managing to get one back, but one will be all. They stop the soul, but they lose the fight.
And they lose Foreigner, they lose the Olaf, they lose Stella. It is just falling apart for the side of WPT. They deny the soul, but the fight absolutely does not go their way. Towers will fall in response as Saul makes his way to the top lane. Should be able to push that one down to at least to low. And it's a good smite. Paranoia comes in, makes it extremely hard to time your burst. Gets a great smite very low on that. I think that was double digits, but
yeah, it was very
Nocturne trades his life, that's fine. You trade one for the dragon, you take that victory anyway. Then Olaf oversteps. Okay, they don't get the dragon the tower wide.
They're calling in the cavalry on the top side. Poltron. Amazing Scout of the Week. Saw has been playing this Syndra so well. These Scout of the Week have been incredibly high impact. The catch. Sorry, I DC'd there for a second. So,
okay.
The Olaf has gone down. My apologies. That's my internet being bad.
Just Olaf falling. Just reaches a little bit too hard. Doesn't decide whether they want to back out or go in as they hit 0-8 on the scoreboard. It is truly a disastrous game for the side of
you saw there, it was smite at 200.
Meru. Oh, smite at 200.
Yeah. So a little bit early by Erdogan, but yet another chance. Just a few minutes, Marby. Don't you worry. I was saying, Saw has been playing this into like really high level. Been super impressed with him. So if I thought else I've been impressed with has been Poltron. Oh god, this is task. So I was about to say he's been moving around the map really well, and then he has scored. So I'm sure of course.
Well, look, I guess Saw was there to land that great Scout. The Week has been playing out of his mind, just like immaculate angles with that trigonometry on the board. As
there's a catch as well. Foreigner have to flash the wall, but this will immediately follow That's a jungler down. There's a Baron on the map, Marby. We know what that means. Chuds are going to have a second crack at that apple. As we'll have a replay. We catch Hook into a very easy kill. Nothing that can be done there. Little Nocturne. No hopes in hell. Should be Baron or the Chudlings. They are fully back.
And with Poltron dying earlier, I was a little close to comfort, but with Poltron dying earlier, they don't even have the opportunity to try that big engage with Baron as a sort of dissuasion tactic. So easy Baron for the Chudlings. Their turn to play with the Purple Worm, and there's not a lot of gold on the map, so it's going to be a little bit harder for them to work with in terms of turning this into a big Baron power play. But it is crucial for them to set up waves, play through this mid and bot lane, maybe take out that last outer tower, a tower that's outside the base, and then just control this blue side jungle for the upcoming soul. And if you control that, catch Foreigner again, like you did just before this Baron, you can lock that down. You will absolutely outlive their poke. And this front line, this 0 and 8 Olaf is just not going to provide that threat to cut through that ocean side. So that's what you have. You have to utilize this advantage, play through these lanes. I reckon you can just kind of sacrifice top side. It looks like bot side is being sacrificed, however, from the side of who's playing today.
As another tower being sieged down. Don't actually manage to just finish it off. Paranoia is coming in. They're just going to try and get the damage. Oh. It's a big Magnus gone. It's a big G-spawn, but I don't think it's big enough. With all the will fall down immediately. In it goes. Olaf and CC in the backside. Managed to get a lot done, but it doesn't matter because Ace is speaking to them, taking them out. 4 have already gone. Sailor dives on the backside as the big Satchel will desperately try and escape, but there's no escape when the Chudlings are on you. In him falls, and I think the game will be ending. It's a rocky road to get here. The Chudlings will pick up their first win today, and who's playing today? We'll have to answer that question in the next one.
The Chudlings are most definitely playing today, and even though it was such a great engage from the side of Poltron, just gold a little bit too far ahead for the side of the Chudlings. As we're going to see it right here, great engage. Mega Inferno bomb layers across the top, but Ezreal is untouched. So a free run for Ace, knocks down, gets an ace himself. Actually, Syndra that cleans up the last kill, but it's who's playing today are not playing anymore.
Welcome back, Mercury. What do you think after game 1?
What a crazy way to start the day. I mean, that was absolutely incredible. I feel bad for Ayamaru, man. Had a rough early game, and then just, you know, the Hex plate was coming online. It was like 18 minutes, just wasn't able to get much done in those team fights. And the thing is, Chudlings, they held out, right? That was the big thing we were talking about heading into this game was, you know, there's so much dive potential on the side of who's playing today. And they just weren't able to overcome it. Credit to the Nefiri, right? Able to get those kills online, deal with Stella's 8 stacks on the Dark Seal early game. That seemed like it was going to be a disaster after that point. And then that fight around the Raptors, man, that was a game of centimeters, and they managed to come out on top after all of that. I just can't believe what we have seen. But we're going to head to a quick break in a moment, and game 2 is on the way, so don't go anywhere.
Hello.
Oh, are we still here?
We're still here. But
Welcome back, everyone, to the Oceanic Champions League. A crazy way to start the night, but we got one more game ahead of us here in this best of two. I'm Mercury. I'm once again joined by Carrix, by Mabinogi, rather, for this game. Chudlings absolutely ran the rift for most of that game. It was back and forth for a while, and I'm not going to count who's playing today out because they still have a bit of a chance here in this. It is Fearless. So some of these picks are going to be off the table heading into this game, and there is still a chance for this team to get another tie on the board as they look towards, the future of this group and potentially that fight for fourth place maybe to get in.
Yeah, I think the thing about game one is Chudlings were choosing who was going to win the entire time. Sometimes they didn't choose themselves. There was a couple of fights where they thought the other team should win. But they were the ones making the choice the whole time. But Saw not having his access to that Syndra in game two, he's going to have to show us something else. He was my MVP for game one. I don't know if you agree, Marby.
Yeah, I think he played an absolutely lights out game on that Syndra. I also want to shout out Zayla, who got counterpicked and absolutely put AMR in the he so I think coming into game two, who's playing today is going to have to figure out a way to make top lane far more playable for them, because 0 and 8 on that Olaf and 20 minutes first item, just not good.
Yeah, lots of things to improve. That's for sure. We got draft on the way, so I'm going to throw back to you guys. You can take it away.
It will be an interesting one for sure as the draft is playing out. The bans are exactly the same from who's playing today. Hui Jin, Talon removed, Kiana, Akali, Galio by the Chudlings. Just keeping things locked down. I will remind everyone we are in a fearless system, so none of the champions from game one will be making a repeat appearance. But Erdogan, after a pretty good performance on the Neferi, is going to be handed the big spear and bring the J4.
Yeah, with those assassin jungles out of the way, he really wants to lean into this early game pressure, and has played out well for the Chudlings in game one. They want to keep their foot on the pedal. They want to run the game, and it's going to be another sort of safer bot lane for sort of departure with this Varus. Not quite sure where it's going to land yet in terms of attack speed or lethality, but we're still seeing lethality because it, like a mage, it gets to stay back, it gets to pretend, gets to not be really involved in the fights, lets them play full contact and dive like before, and Lee Sin plays right into that for the side of Foreigner.
Yeah, and I think Foreigner on the Nocturne in game one was actually pretty good. I think he had a reasonably good game, so I'm keen to see him on the Lee Sin. Nocturne, for all of his strengths, is not the most mechanical heavy champion. He kind of just runs at you and just tries to see if it works. Lee Sin, of course, is in fact opposite. So Foreigner will have to put on a show, really show us what he can do. Mel being locked in here for the Chudlings, wouldn't be surprised to see that go bot lane.
Yeah, it's a very good matchup in the Varus bot lane, able to reflect all those skills. And if this Camille is locked in here, I think it's even more likely to fall into a bot lane, because you want to just let the Camille free. You want her to just go be a menace elsewhere on the map in those first 15-20 minutes before she sort of falls off in a manner similar to someone like Pyke. So Estes definitely leaning in towards that sort of style for me. It's still flexible if a mid lane situation arises that you really want to put that Mel there. But Camille is open, or rather has been picked, so you have a lot of opportunity to deny this. A Poppy would go extremely well into the J4 and the Camille combo, able to deny both of those. And if you lock it in here, you can flex it top, you can flex it support, so it still doesn't reveal too much.
Yeah, I think Poppy would be a really good lock-in as long as it's in Ayamaru's championship pool, because I don't think you want to make it really obvious that it's going bot. Because Poppy into Mel, you can do well into the Camille, but you don't have a super fun lane. You just sort of get poked constantly. But It has to be an Ayamaru's champion pool. If they're going to pick it up, I think it would be a good decision. But there are, of course, other options. We could try and secure a strong mid laner. The Orianna is still open. Crazy that Orianna wasn't picked last game when Nocturne was. And it looks like Ari is going to be the pick of choice. Stella just wants to get something safe, something strong for himself.
Look for that strong sort of mid jungle 2v2 set up. It's not quite as nice as the Vi, because where the Vi sets up the charm, here you're looking for the charm to set up Lee Sin. So it's a lot harder to execute, but as a 2v2 in skirmishes, it can still cause a lot of damage. And it's another pick that's not great into Mel. It gives her that angle to rebut with that charm, send things right back at you. I guess adding more in, making her have to pick and choose when to use that rebuttal is a way to overcome it. It's not a particularly long shield. Exactly. So that is potentially the angle as things disappear again.
It's all right. We'll get that back as no worries at all. As we do see more picks coming in thick and fast. It is Na and Orianna to round out the Chudlings, and Jace and Rakan to round out who's playing today. We'll have to bring Mercury back in to get his take before we go on to the Rift.
Oh, I'm a little bit wary here for who's playing today, because it seems like they've sort of drafted themselves into that same situation. And I'm excited to see what Chudlings can do with this Orianna Mel combo. They've got incredible ball delivery with the Camille as well. And the Naras, they've just got so many tools at their disposal, and it's going to be rough to see how they can actually bring things back to try and draw this series. I think my eyes have to be to that top lane though, right? Jace here for Ayamiru had a really rough game last time around. Now on one of those carries that really needs to get ahead up against what's probably going to be like a lethal tempo Nah. It's going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, for
totally
sure.
Is.
I think with the Orianna and the Nah coming in as the sort of lock-ins there, it gives a lot of the sort of single target, well, actually AoE burst because of the shockwave, but a lot of that burst potential, a lot of that wombo combo potential, and locking in that Jace as the answer, it really does lay down that like it's all or nothing. It means there's not going to be that damage issue that you might have run into, but where if a Scion or a big frontliner had been there, but Rakan and Jace are quite squishy, so this actually plays quite nicely into the side of Chudlings. I think they've absolutely stomped the draft this time. But banning out that Poppy as well in that second phase of bans, just denying that option. Yeah, I think it's a slam dunk draft for the side of Chudlings now. It's time for them to execute.
Totally agree. And the execution is going to be the interesting part, because Chudlings obviously did look dominant in game one, but they dominated in the lanes. It was early kills off of backs of hooks. It was solo kills in the top lane. When it came to set up around team fights, it was a little bit more dodgy. I think some of their setups weren't perfect. I think when you're playing an Orianna composition, you do need really good vision control. Camille needs to know where everyone is when she jumps in. Don't want to find extra people popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I don't think Poltron's going to fall for the same mistake twice as what he did before, and letting that early game pressure just continue to mount. But this is a Camille we're talking about, right? Especially, into the Rakan, you can sort of negate a lot of that engage. You can stop the grand entrance pretty easily. It's pretty televised. The deflect to knock away the chains of corruption for the Varus as well. There's a lot of tools at their disposal to really stop any sort of attempt for a play that WPT can even try and go for.
Yeah, I think if you are WPT, I guess you want to try and take the initiative early, and I think the big way to do that is through the top side. We saw sort of in game one, left to their own devices, Zayla is gonna pretty much have their way with AMR, but Nah is so easy to attack. Mini Nah is orange buff. Your jungler can go up there, farm the orange buff, and walk away if they pick their timings correctly. And Nah, like, I'm a Nah hater because it is one of the only champs that all 10 players have to play with that rage farm management. And if you mess up that, if you know how to play Nah, if you know how to play against Gnar, now it's useless. You can just absolutely crush it in teamfights. You can make it absolutely worthless. So it's going to be up to WPT to execute on that, and up to Zayla in particular to manage his rage bar properly and make sure he is actually a champion coming into these later team fights, because you're already losing out on Camille in later team. Camille falls off a cliff in the support position, so you don't want to be taking 3v5s no matter how strong Mel and Oriana are.
I think one thing that does make me a little bit more positive on the Gnar, as I know for as long as I've known you, you've hated Gnar, and that's a long time. That there was no jungle attention topside in game 1.
That's true.
Partially because the Olaf was so far behind, where it was just like, well, sorry, dude, like you're on your own. But there was no jungle attention from either side topside. I think if the Gnar is just able to live against Chase, he doesn't have to win lane. Just live. You're fine. Like this whole there is this debate about, is Gnar a champion when he shows up to team fights without his Gnar bar, correct? No, he's not. But is Jace a champion if he doesn't land poke?
Yes, actually, that's the big hammer form. There have been big buffs to Jace recently, is that he is actually such a good champion now as the game progresses. But I do think this time around it's going to be a lot harder to lock Stellar in lane, because that's Silas never. And Ari should have a lot better time linking up with Lee Sin, and that duo should just go top.
It looks like we'll be heading right into game number 2. My fellow casters, take it away once again.
Happily, as we do see if it will be a Chudlings win, or if who's playing today. Enforcers back to a draw. I like that we dwell on this. We get a little bit more Mercury. Yeah. We always like Mercury. But it will be never mind. We are just going to keep chatting for a little bit. Don't worry, we'll bring you the Rift as soon as we can. Oh, there we go. We go to the Rift. All right. Bye, Mercury. Everyone say bye, Mercury. As here we go. Can the Chudlings lock this one down, or will who's playing today be able to get a tie? Which is a big deal for them as they look through the rest of the season on the Rift. And no one's dead at level 1, Marby. We're improving.
Great start from Poltron. As I say, that Aquilin is going to head right in there, and it looks like they're the one definitely taking the bad end of the trade this time. Mel cannot quite contest the level 1 that aggressively, so just looking to survive for those first few levels. Again, Lost Chapter is the crucial point for these mages, as we see Comet on the other side, so it will be poke fast. It's going to be a heavy poke comp for the side of WPT with that Jace as well.
There's a lot of damage being dealt. There's the hook shot. The wall dive forces the flash. Ash has been pushed back early. Once again, the Chudlings bot lane putting on a show.
No kill this time, but it's a lot of pressure down. 1 for 2.
Flash forward, the solar snare doesn't land, but it doesn't matter because the damage is in. And once again, it is the Chudlings in the bot lane. Vila starting off with a solo kill.
I guess we do want to have a little bit of a discussion. I want to have a little discussion, and that is the discussion of, is it actually worth flashing for that solo kill because at this point in the game, because just this teleport comes back, it is such a dominant, because like you get that little bit of kill, but if you just keep them low, just force them back, it keeps them out of lane for that little bit longer, because they have to reset, they have to wait for the recall time, they have to wait for their health to regen. You get the push, you get a much cleaner cheat recall. I'm not sure.
I mean, there's a lot of, I understand you're doing analysis, you're thinking about like, you get a little bit more time, but have you considered the aura? Have you considered the aura of just killing the guy in lane?
I mean, I think Foreigner will be the one who has to decide this for us if he can make his way down to the box side. Might be a bit of a scuffle from Trap as they meet, but Poltron is in Roofer first. So.
Yeah, they are pushing them back. Poltron is there. There's the hook shot. The wall dive doesn't find anything. Poltron only level 2. Khan does really want that level 3. Really wants access to all of his buttons. As a teleport is being ripped, the Oriana is going to be here. We're contesting the blue buff. Aquilin doing well. Burning Poltron out. Foreigner jump forward. Did manage to get the buff. A charm as well. Erdogan. Smite once again fails him.
Yeah, not able to get this fight, but it does push everyone out of lane. There's lots of damage that's gone down onto Foreigner, lots of damage that's gone onto Poltron. That has to reset. Unfortunately, they're not. This does mean Foreigner just gets to clean up and get that nice full clear, picking up that second scuttle. Zayla, horseback early.
Forward, we'll get the passive proc. Amaru has to flash out, and that orange buff has got hands apparently, Marby.
Yeah, Amaru taking a really bad set of recall there did actually force Zayla back, but that recall came in, teleported through, and just caught Amaru napping on that recall. Just bad wave management. I think trying to get it to slow push back into him. And this
teleporting to the lane. The Camille is up here. If this push happens, you could see Aquilin making a really big play.
And Edoran's hunting into the jungle to get an idea of where Lee Sin is before they make
they've
this
gone
play.
in on the top side. There's the Mega Gnar. We're not seeing it on our screen right now, but Amaru on the run gets hit by the rock. Aquilin will flash forward and cut him down. It's another kill for the Chudlings. Foreigner has been found. Does get over the wall though. He'll be okay, but his top laner can't sense it.
Yeah, Edoran just marking out Foreigner he cannot get involved. He cannot look for a turnaround there. As they come to the replay, just Mega Gnar jumps on top of him, actually misses the wall, it looks like, but it doesn't matter. Camille has more than enough damage at this stage in the game. Good boulder toss there to secure the kill, essentially.
Really well done there. Lovely stuff as well. Aquilin having the awareness that he was able just to leave lane. Just walk up top lane. Why not? This is what Camille does when she's paired with these mage bot laners. You know, Ace doesn't need help. You can just leave him alone. He likes hanging out on his own. Reeler, I should say, as Nelson doesn't need help. He's able to just farm up happily, still ahead of Depash. Good trade there by Amaru. Might be able to zone them off as the wave is shoving away from Zayla as well.
And Wave's in a great spot. If you can set up a nice freeze and just hold that in position, could deny a lot of power from this Gnar. Still even a CS, that one assist going over, so that one kill setup has done a little bit for him. As Jungle's meeting again in the jungle.
Yeah, there is a clash. It's a good grand entrance, knocking Aquilin up. He has the wall dive, but can't get anything done with it. Erdoran, he's in trouble. Down they go. It's a good reflect from the Mel, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as Jarvan will go down as well. It's a big play by who's playing today. And the Charm land. Saw will join them in the grave. And who's playing today? Pick up a quick little hat trick.
It's not quite the 4-0 start, but it's much the same story. An early invade into the jungle. This time it is who's playing today that make the calls to invade. And Ari is here first, able to rack up a lot of extra damage. Beautiful pickup onto Jarvan, beautiful pickup onto the Camille, and then this flash charm, dash charm, doesn't even need the flash there, just locks down the Orianna, not respecting that, not flashing away, and it just goes down for free, and that is a beautiful pickup for Stella, and able to get out of this lane. Let's see if they can continue this process, or if, much like last game, this is their only time they get to leave the lane and sort out some traps.
Exactly. Really, exactly what I want. Let's have a look at the top side. I think we might have missed something in the replay. There's a Mega Gnar waiting at a brush. I'm a little bit worried as into the wall. The wallop, the beat sticks come in and finishes him off. Does he die to the tower? Of course he does. I think he did die to the tower there, but whatever. You got the solo kill. That's all that matters. Thor manages to fend off the play from Poltron as well, as this game continues to be a high-octane one.
And just throwing waves back and forth, throwing violence back at each other. And Zayla now feeling quite comfortable, has been able to take it to Amaru twice. A little bit of a misstep going back on the tower, and up the Nalbar again. Got the ultimate. Amaru, stay away from those walls.
Be careful, just be careful.
Be careful.
Don't want to get Mega Gnar, but he has managed to stall it out.
And on the other side of the map, pretty much no real advancement from outside. The Chudlings have put a lot of vision down into the entrance of the topside jungle, so they have great control over this sort of this Herald Pit, but they're not really able to maximize it because they haven't really got control of the push in those lanes. They do have push in the bot side, but they haven't been able to advance their vision in yet. On the other side, who's playing today absolutely has, so just playing a little bit of who wants to go first onto the dragon, and will be J4 right now, but Foreigner's on the way.
And he slipped through the vision net as well. He came over the back wall. He is not spotted. They don't know that this is happening yet. As we watch another fight on the top side, Ayamaru, he's in trouble. He'll be taken down. As, oh no, it goes from bad to worse. Who's playing today? Their top laner just not up to snuff today, unfortunately. They will finally sniff out that the dragon is being taken. We can see Erdogan a little bit slow on the smite.
Zayla's good at playing around this race bar, for sure, but yeah, Foreigner and Stella have not been able to make their way up there. They've just been slow to the punch once again. Just not set up for the dragon. False sense of security around that vision, as pointed out before, and as you said, going over that back pit. Now they've got the angle into the top side. I think they're going to start up the grubs. Just a little bit of freedom right there, but Stella not been able to control this wave, not been able to push it out quite fast enough. Once the Malignus comes through, once level 9 hits, and you can sort of auto-clear those cast minions with one hit.
Foreigner dives in, will be pushed back as here is Erdogan arrives, has the Cataclysm as well, locks 2 into it. Poltron does well. A lovely charm from Stella as well. They're beating up Foreigner, trying to take him down. Aquilin can't quite get it done. Hit by the Resonant Strike. A grand entrance. They dive in. They're trying to turn it around, but that might be one bridge too far. When you get the Camille, but you lose both your lives in exchange.
And the Chudlings, once again, just are of one mind. So much more than who's playing today. They collapse first. Nah has that push. He collapses in. Doesn't have Mega Null, but he's able to just provide the damage. His Jarvan and Camille keep them locked down. Ari does arrive, but at the same time as Orianna, so it's always numbers advantage for the side of Chudlings, and they're able to just run down this fight. A nice pickup from Foreigner in the end, but in the end it trades out for another kill, and it's 3 for 1 across the board. And sacrificing a Camille, yeah, that's what she's there to do. She goes in, stuns, dies. That's her job.
Exactly. Really good stuff from the Chudlings. I think they are, as you said, they're just on the same page. And that is a really good thing. Just knowing what you want to do at any time. Someone in the team, clearly a very strong voice, calling the shots, calling the play, and the rest of the Chudlings just lining up together.
Very keen to know who's in charge of the Chudlings. Who is the Chud amongst the Chudlings?
Who is the fat Chud amongst the Chudlings? Because I think that's how the hierarchy works.
Yeah. I mean, but as it's always been said, a bad decision made together is better than good decisions made independently. Sure. So right now, the Chudlings have just collapsed so much faster. The one time they don't, that's when Stella is able to pop off into that jungle skirmish. Great moves from them there, but once again, slow on the uptake outside that one moment in the early jungle. Robin and Camille linked up so much better than the Lee Sin and the Rakan. And these two bot laners meant to be... Okay. That's another solo kill for Zayla.
Just another solo kill. It's just going to keep happening. This is a highlight reel. Zayla just showing off. Oh, Erdogan goes in under the tower. Solar Snare lands. There's the golden eclipse. It's not quite enough. Ultron will survive.
Not quite in execute range. No Shadow Flame to cheat that a little bit.
He's gone a little bit too deep. Caught under the tower. Will fall there. Foreigner picking that one up. But it's just worth noting that despite the fact they didn't get the kill in the bot lane, it is a 40 CS gap. So that bot lane is going well. But let's, oh God. It is more of
Is this bullying? Is this bullying? I feel like at some point we have to just say it's silent duty for you, mate. Like this is just so dominant coming out of Melee. Absolutely putting his foot down in this match. In both games, crushing multiple solo kills. Fleet Emperor of the top lane right now. And across on the other side of the map, yep, they aren't quite able to get the kills. In the mid lane, it is a trade. We didn't quite see if Thor just got charmed under tower and had to make best of a bad situation, or he was the one actively trying to hunt the kill onto Stella, but didn't have the Ludens at the time. So this time, or rather next time, it might be a lot more successful the next time he tries something like that.
Very, very true. As the gold doesn't lie. It's 2.6k for the Chudlings. They are ahead in every matchup. And when the best news is that Saw is only 700 gold ahead, you know things are pretty bad. For who's playing today, they still do have tools. They still have ways to play this one out, but it is going to be tricky, particularly with how aggressive Aquilin is being. He's been everywhere, linking up with Erdogan, linking up with Zayla on the top side. No, can't even have vision. Poltron, away.
Away.
No, we can't. No, you can't do that. Does get another ward swept out.
You don't want wards? Take yourself back to League Classic. That's the only place wards are allowed.
There's the wall dive coming in. Poltron will use that ultimate quickness to try and get out to good solo snare. They do trade well. Now Erdogan goes in, delivers the ball, but they don't have the follow-up ready as it is blinking health bars for who's playing today. Look who's arrived behind them, though. It is Zayla. He'll get his first kill there. On to the Lee Sin. Foreigner taken out. Dragon going down. Oh, Saw, can you get it done? Does stop the recall, but I don't think he'll be going under the tower. I think maybe he should, though. With Zayla coming in, should be able to go in, slam them into the wall, and beat them down. The Chudlings get even further ahead.
Yeah, I thought Zayla had made a bit of a mistake trying to chase after the Rakan, but still manages to walk back in time to set up that big kill on the tower. And Rio are able to teleport to the top side, means Payamaru can't get anything except farmed once again. It's just an easy pick up for the Mel. It's Chudlings winning across the board, and they are set up to take another tower on the top side very shortly. They already picked up first brick in the bot lane, and that can set them up for a nice play into the Rift Herald, making it an even further advantage in terms of the standing gold.
Exactly, and Erdogan is able to just start the Herald in the face of who's playing today. Let's have a look at how this played out. I think this was the first time that Chudlings had maybe been a little bit on different pages, but they made it work regardless. Yeah,
I think a little bit disconnected there, trying to engage onto Rakan, but Coilin gets caught out. There's a great setup from...
Hang on. We have another fight to come back to, as here comes Ayamaru. He has that big shield from the teleport. This is a good start to the fight. They pick up two. Who's playing today are not going to go quiet into that good night. As well played there by Poltron. Does go down in the end. Unfortunate. Can they find the last bit of damage? They can. With a flash forward from Stella. They pick up three. They're fighting back, Marby.
Catching Chudlings completely unawares, and they do not have their fight line set up. Zayla is nowhere to be seen, pushing bot lane. Gonna still be able to trade back a little bit onto this tower, but Ayamaru, he gets involved.
I don't know if you want this smoke.
Little bit of violence here. We can get into the wave.
Not with the gates.
Not
with the hex gates. Let's have a look at how this one started, because it was just a really interesting play. It was just a good flank there in the end. I actually just think Ayamaru coming through from the back just threw them off.
Yeah, and at the start you see Foreigner attacking Camille by themselves as everyone else piles onto J4. The link up is not there. Chudlings are not the ones calling the shots in that fight. It completely falls apart, and Mel is dead. So is Camille. That looks like a good play on the side of who's playing today. AR does go down in the meantime, though. I'm not quite sure where he died. Oh, it looks like he died onto tower again. I guess Zayla welcomed him back to lane.
But let's have a look at, we've got the replay here of this fight back. They do pick up the 2 kills, a really good play into the mid side. Do see the Camille damage becoming less and less relevant as things go. But well played.
Foreigner just stealing that kill away from just Departure at the end there. You have 5. You don't need any more. You have enough. You want to bring that Varus back into the game, but it has...
In goes Aquilin. This is just a Camille at the moment. Doesn't do quite enough damage 18 minutes into the game to really be a huge threat, but certainly doesn't get punished.
slightly shorted and gets caught with the chains of corruption. Not able to turn it around completely. Again, not by enough damage.
Saw is in trouble, trying to find something on the backside. Actually buying an enormous amount of time for the Foxfire. Will get him in the end. It's a good, once again, another good play from who's playing today. They'll get the kill, they'll get the tower.
Cut to the other side of the
traded, unfortunately, for the inners in bot, but still, we're fighting back.
Yeah, there's push in the bot side, there's push in the mid lane. There's a Rift Herald actually dropped in the top side, so they might be able to pick up another tower and turn it into a 2-for-1 trade in terms of towers, and that kill on top, that will pull it down to a just straight up positive play for the side of who's playing today. As Manamune now complete at 20 minutes. For the side of Amaru, Poke will be starting to come online, so if they can set up their fight lines and play defensively with that Varus, with that Jace, even though they are behind and not quite putting out the impact you're gonna want at this stage in the game, if they play it correctly, as long as they land that poke, they can still control space quite well.
That they do is, it's only 1.5k gold, only 1.5k, with the amount of gold that Zayla is ahead. The fact that they're only behind that little bit does mean, once again, it's similar to game 1. If you can force 4v4s where the Gnar isn't involved, you are actually very, very favored. Tricky part, of course, is convincing the Gnar not to be in the fight. As there's a good catch, that's one way to do it, is down goes Java, no chance. Teleporting in, Zayla just has to hop over the wall. The Gnar is okay. Not great, but I don't know if you can contest the projective down to your jungler.
Yeah, you have to play for 5.
Full. I think you just shove waves though.
Yeah.
Like, just give this one up.
Yeah, that was a sort of an instinctive trigger pull on that teleport. It wasn't able to catch up. Now, not set up either for the, Zayla.
Zayla wants to make it shine as goes in. Did actually steal away the Void Crab there, so actually kind of a big win.
Yeah, and they do catch that mid, and they do actually push down that tower in the mid wave as well, so it's not the end of the world there. Losing the dragon because you lost your jungler, but able to turn it around quite well. They can also set up comfortably this wave in the top side for a push there. It shouldn't be enough to take it down, given you spent that teleport and Zayla was not able to just AFK push that, but okay, Poltron, are you going to find an angle to catch someone out? Saw, left alone.
Ooh, not quite caught there by Poltron. Just manages to get away. Oriana will be safe, but another wave shoved in. Depash slowly farming himself back into this one. No access there for Aquilon. Of course, that Bell Shield is incredibly valuable against Kip.
Ping's coming out. They saw the angle from, I'm not quite sure who it was, reaching into the jungle. It was Poltron, but they caught a glimpse of him, so they know not to try and push in towards that Baron and just aggress down that mid lane, force the backs, force the resets. Don't want to give up that inhibitor just yet. This gives the space to move into the Baron pit yourselves and set up that vision. It's going to be a bit of a struggle for it. Aquilon, a little bit disconnected right now. And they find a catch onto Foreigner.
They do manage to get a lot of damage in. Taylor half does get hit up by that Grant entrance as well. Erdogan doesn't get anything done. The Narbar is full. And they just kite this out. Just don't fight him while he's in big mode. Corralling them away from this Baron pit, but who's playing today just don't need to engage. We can just play it safe. Wait for the Gnar bomb to be diffused. Maybe get a catch onto Aquil, and they don't necessarily notice. But yeah, no, the cooldowns weren't there. That's a free kill onto the Chudling support. Erdogan blast turning away. They've been completely forced off this angle.
Yeah, there's no flash on Zayla either. They did manage to blow that up, so big catch.
Yeah, massive catch there. Unfortunately, Soulsnare does land. Ayamaru will go down. Poltron definitely trying to make it happen, but I think this might have been a bridge too far from who's playing today. They've been caught out. They've been taken down. Stella's on the run. Depash is slowed up. He's got nowhere to go, and bang, Erdogan does him in the back. Baron started, and the Chudlings regain control.
Which playing today just taking a little bit too time to sort themselves out, and they end up paying the price. Here, they're just not quite sure what they want to do, if they're looking for picks, if they're going to turn away. And this big shockwave comes out from Saw. Does a lot of poke as well, but catches who? Jace goes in to sacrifice himself, but this big engage coming in from Jarvan just here catches Ari on the flash. Sorry, it's here with that flash speed drag, and it just locks them down. Orianna runs hell. Varus can't get away, needed to just leave yesterday, and it just gives the Chudlings the angle back into the Baron. Now they will have that picked up and set up for this dragon in just a little bit. But they've already done so much damage outside the map, so they're gonna need to utilize this to break open the base. That is their main goal here. Crush one of the inhibitors, preferably on the top side. I think that is probably the best way to do it. Try and keep it away from the dragon. But
oh, there's another catch coming in. Poltron in trouble, managing to dance away though. The quickness has been used. One big source of engage from who's playing today will not be available. Defend off this Baron push. Doesn't look like it's going to be bot lane that they choose. Just a bit more shoved in. There's no inner turret in the way as well. Unfortunately, we're seeing these Qs landing from the lethality Varus, and they are not looking lethal.
No, both of your poke champions are the ones that have fallen desperately behind, and they just aren't quite landing the damage needed. So you're going for that Edge of Night second. It keeps you safe a little bit, but you need that damage.
Sword goes golden. There's a teleport coming behind. Poltron dances away. It's a good Varus ult. Does actually keep them in place. Two immediately fallen as Stella rushing forward, doing really well. This Ari's going crazy. And this is who's playing today, fighting back with an ace.
Not quite sure how that happened, but the double teleport goes
They're going to try
to the bot lane. They're going to try. I don't even know if they can. I guess it's 25 seconds, 30
Hang on,
seconds.
no, we'd have to go back to base. We can't leave the replay right now. As we saw how this played out, it was really just a good engage. Oh no, I want to see what's happening.
Yeah, it looks good from the start as Rakan gets knocked down, but the big chains across the big knockback from Dragon's Rage Kick locks them all into place and takes out the damage instantly. Zayla not in that Mega Gnar form. Orianna taken out so quickly, and Mel does her best, but she is just taken out of that fight.
All right, but back to live. How far did they get? They didn't end. They got one in here, but the Nexus Tower didn't fall.
They played it quite safe. They got the inhibitor. They backed off. They took that dragon. Soul Point denied again from the Chudlings. That's a sport.
Yeah, he was already very low, but unfortunately, Ayamaru has been caught out and taken down.
Well, look, Ayamaru, you will not be the one going 2 and 7. It will in fact be Aquilin separating himself from that scoreline deficit. And still Chudlings very much in control on them. Especially with that pick going down, they just... Who's playing today need to look for another big misstep. And those both those Seeker's Arm Guards shattered for now, have an opportunity. They have that chance.
Yeah, there is an angle. The gold lead is nowhere near as drastic as it was. It's only 1,000 gold. It's going to go up a little bit. It'll probably go up to about, that 1.3k. But you have a very, very strong Lee Sin. Foreigner can still put on a show. He can find pick. Stella went massive in that last fight as well. The Serpent's Fang has come in for Ayamaru. Yes, he's struggling this game, but he still will be able to break open some shields, just able to make it a little bit easier for the rest of the team. And Stella, you're on the wrong side of a Gnar. The Ariel is used.
2-level advantage
there from Zayla. Little bit optimistic that you're going to be able to keep up with an Ari.
Yeah, it's a 2-level advantage coming in from the side of Zayla in that direct matchup, but actually this is just ahead of the next closest person by 2 levels in general. Zayla is so far ahead in terms of experience, spending so much time in that side lane. Meanwhile, Foreigner, he is so much of the gold lead for who's playing today, but his main purpose is to find that big kick angle. And he's got 9 kills. That is far too much for the Lee Sin. Granted, it's been bit of a struggle for Jace and Varus to really get involved. They've been playing around this mid jungle. That has been the main point of power for the side of who's playing today. But with all the gold on the Lee Sin, and he has to really commit hard into the fight with no GA in the books just yet. I think he's going to go and find an angle. If it's not good enough, him trading out is a bad place. So
yeah,
they have to play so much around this poke because they can't risk sending in the Lee Sin.
It is tricky. Foreigner basically has to find a kick almost as specifically onto Reeler. I think if it's anyone else, it's almost not good enough. 1 for 1. Assuming he goes down. I don't think they necessarily have to go down as Aquilin will jump forward. Poltron make sure to get away from the wall dive. As again, we're just testing around vision centers. Baron hasn't respawned yet, but want to make sure both teams are on it. The charm will land. Aquilin in a lot of trouble. He will go down. No, never mind. Survive. That Camille passive comes in absolutely clutch. Oh no, it's gone all wrong. Poltron does his best, but his best is not good enough as they dive on forward. The Passion's gone down. It's a huge pick from Foreigner, but it's too late. That is going to be the Chudlings cleaning them off the map, and I think the Nexus is going to be in their sight. Taylor running forward can just get it started.
Cutting the wave.
No, good cut there by Ayamaru. Managing to just try to deny the wave. Unfortunately, there are still a couple of minions left, so it may not be enough. Bought some time. What will the Chudlings do? Baron's on the map. It's calling to them, but I think the Nexus could be there.
20 seconds left with the inhibitor spawning on the bot side as well. They don't have the wave. Now it's just a case of can you play keep away? Foreigner, Lee Sin, he is very hard, very easy champion to steal with, and Foreigner has had the better of the smites so far this series. Left him alone.
Foreigner is here. Tags the Baron up. A little bit early.
Stella.
Ultron goes in. Stella's on the backside. The charm does not land. It's a huge amount of damage onto Reeler. Can they actually get it done? They do, but it might not be worth it. Sailor in Meganar lands the big wallop, tries to get away. Dancing from Foreigner, the resonating strike. Isn't there? Saw has to teleport out. And the minions are on the base of the Chudlings, and now it's who's playing today with control around the Baron as they can start this up.
Yeah, Stella able to just assassinate on the backline, takes out the job, and Foreigner, he's just playing silly bug, is dragging two of the champions around, and everyone just gets killed on the backside. And then they completely scattered. The fight lines that have been so good for Chudlings most of the series are not in position, and that gives Lee Sin, that gives Stella all the opportunity to wreck them, pull them apart. Meal goes down in the end. Saw has to teleport just to defend from the minions crashing in. And it should be Baron going over to the side of who's playing today and how much can they play off it. Dragon on the board. Chudlings will be there first. Don't know if this is worth going for. If you're
I think we give this up.
I think you just
It's
set
not
up your
solved.
waves better. Set up your waves through mid lane. You have an outlook tower to crash.
Foreigner is going to move forward. He thinks he can outsmite as there's the initial kill. They're just going to dive forward, boot him over the wall and say, thank you very much. A perfect smite there by Foreigner. Lovely, lovely stuff. And who's playing today are keeping this game going.
It's all falling apart for Chudlings. They no longer have control. They no longer have the tempo. It is Aquilin getting caught out again and again. And now with this Baron, now with this extra dragon, they can just push down the soul. The wave clear should be okay, but it's a lot of AP wave clear into a Baron buff. So it's going to be able to crash on. That's one tower in the middle lane. You're going to be able to take this next one on the next wave, most likely. Ayamaru
disagrees, goes in with an orb on his head. Immediately picking up the first kill. He has the GA, so he'll be okay. Taylor running forward, getting that rage bar filled up. He's pretty close to going mega. Poltron doing his absolute best to get smacked into the wall. Stella finds his way onto Reeler, but Azonias will keep him safe and Saw will clean him up. And right when we said that the Chudlings had lost control, they employ the mind control device. They win the fight, and I think they'll be winning the game.
Huge engage once again from Erdogan, and Saw crushing in with a huge combo, removing Varus from the map immediately and carrying past. Hey Murray just had split, but he didn't even try to join in. Now it's all about Foreigner. Good news for who's played today. That's all your gold. Lee Sin is all your gold. He has the chance to do something. Big rebuttal though. You can't get in.
And the Chudlings will be fended off at the very least. 2 inhibs is a hell of a prize, but it will not be the Nexus.
This is currently just so back and forth. Neither can get enough of an advantage in a good wave state to crash into the Nexus. So it's just, we go for round 2. It's a while until the next objective. And we're gonna see here, Aquilin dead, booted out of the pit, easy smite for the side of Jace apparently, as he's the one who locks that down. But well-timed burst. Jarvan is already removed from the equation, so it's not too risky. And saw that go through. We just need to see who can get the next advantage. Whoever has engaged first has won these last few fights, and it's really been, can Aquilin survive? He's picked up a second item now with that Starix Gauge. I'm not quite sure if that's what you want to do, or is it something like something that benefits your team a little bit more, Knight's Vow or a Locket, but just wanting to put out as much damage as he can with that Halo Blades before he eventually explodes. I guess that's fair enough, but doing this down should give back control to the Chudlings. Just that top lane to play for. Still a while until this Baron spawns. It should be the next port of call for either of these teams. Chudlings in position to set up the team fast.
Yeah, they're doing. I mean, the fact that they're still holding on is incredibly impressive when you look at the. It is dead even, but it's just Foreigner. Foreigner is just holding up who's playing today's entire economy.
I mean, yeah.
Like I feel like I'm reading the news because Foreigner's having a huge impact on the economy, positive or negative. Anyway,
it's going great for who's playing today. Baritone is doing wonderfully. Poltron's
exactly. Poltron is caught out, but he's playing with Khan. He's a slippery devil. Dance around. Oh! Stella gets the one shot. Will go down in exchange. It's debatably worth it as Ayamaru has to run. There's a tag in. Foreigner doing a lot of damage. Sailor in trouble, but Foreigner is getting lower. Has that GA. I think that would be a hell of a prize as they do get Erdogan in exchange. And I say in exchange, they didn't really lose anything as they hold on once more.
Foreigner is so tanky with that Death Dance and GA in completion. He is so close to final build. Erdogan, meanwhile, not as tanky on that J4, so he ends up going down. And as mid laners are traded out, it's just more blood for the Blood God that is Foreigner. He is up in kills. Him and Stella have this team on their back. It doesn't show as much in that gold individually for Stella because Sora is still keeping up fantastically, but Khan goes in a little bit too deep on the side. There's not enough ability to collapse. Great angle from Ari, but dashes the wrong way right into Erdogan's loving arms, and then this extension is a little bit too far. They feel like they can catch out the Lee Sin because he goes in right into the face of Meganar, but damage is not there yet. It had all been spent. That shotgun blast on.
Ooh, this is going to be Soul. I don't think they can stop this. Soul secured.
No.
No? Stolen.
No.
No. Stolen.
Who got that?
Foreigner. The one time he loses the smite fight.
Did he lose that to a Boltitus?
I think he lost that to a bot. No. Oh, it was 1 damage by the Soul Stand.
What?
Oh my word. That is the Chudlings holding off the Soul pickup. They go straight to Baron and they kill it so quickly. Aquilon's buying time. Foreigner is here. Can he redeem? He can't. The Baron will be secured. Sailor will go down. Can they get a fight out of this? Foreigner has GA. Poltron running forward. Charming them up. Stella over the wall. Getting the damage. Down. Foreigner running through them. You might have got Baron. You might have got Dragon. But who's playing today? Get the fight.
The smites went one way, but Divine Providence is not with the Chudlings. They're not going to
There's
win.
no waves, though. They can't end. There's no waves. Let's have a look at this replay. It was, yeah, the bell over the wall. It just gets that damage down. It was just early by Foreigner.
Absolutely win. You had so much time. That's still 30 seconds. You got a whole reset in there. It's 30 seconds on the next member of Chudlings. You absolutely could have pushed to win. They're just not sure. They're so scared. They are 5k ahead, and it is exclusively Foreigner. He can't get more gold anymore. It is all on him. They are just not willing to risk the timer. I mean, they feel strong right now. They've been playing these fights so much better, but in the back end of it, but come on. You can't risk it anymore. Now you're gonna, if that happens again, then you lose soul.
And the insane thing is, Ayamaru is now ahead in gold of Zayla. This Gnar has been nullified. Hasn't been able to get it done. Was incredible in lane. Was fantastic in the mid game. But as the game has dragged, it has been less and less relevant, Marby. And now it is pretty much just next fight wins, right?
We see that huge dive on the roller coaster. The last fight should have won. But
true.
So who knows? Maybe who plays today is still not sure if they're playing, and they want to keep us here forever because they had all the time in the world. But now they have to do it again. Now they have to make sure they don't mess up. Taylor and Gila, they shouldn't have Baron buffs, despite what.
No, the Baron power. Well, yeah, the Baron power play is technically continuing, but there are no Baron buffs.
It's not good power play. It is.
It's not. It's not good.
And now AMO, he has slowly found his way to full build. So despite going down to 1 and 8, he is online. He has made it. He is a real boy again, and the poke is going to come in hard and fast. But Thatcher's also approaching full build. Just needs to complete that Zonya's. So yeah, WPT, they are feeling comfortable right now. They land the poke. So all these
Erdogan goes in, but Foreigner dances away. There's a big Barrisol. Erdogan is going to go down. Poltron goes massive on the backside, locking up 3. They couldn't follow up on what was a very good dive in from Zayla. That Gnar did get 3, but it was 3 on both sides, stunned up. Who's playing today? Got that 1 kill. They have a teleport to get the Ari back into the play. Score is low. Can Foreigner find anything? No, not quite. And with the wave state being where it is, hard for them to get more done. They are going to push towards this objective as we have a look at the replay.
Darwin tries to make a move, but you're engaging onto a Lee Sin who just dashes out of the catapult and caught on the edge.
Hang on a second. We're coming straight back to live as more picks have come in. There's a teleport and Inhib is falling. The wave is not far behind Marby, who's playing today. Might be putting one down on the Chudlings. Lovely there by Poltron. Dances through the line. Foreigner gives the Gnar the big boot. Takes him out of the fight. They're melting away. The towers are falling and they fight it back to a draw.
The Chudlings had played so much of that game so well, but they just faltered towards the end over and over. Gave that game, who's playing today, dragged that through the depths. Stella and Foreigner did so much work to drag it to the end. It didn't matter. No gold mattered at the end. Everyone was full items except for the sports, but that's real life for them. Even with that godlike...
Can you understand what just happened? Because I don't think we can.
Mercury, messenger, tell us.
That game was a fugue state for about 30 minutes there. What did we just witness? That was... I have no clue what we just saw, but they somehow brought it back to a tie. I mean, that was Foreigner all the way.
Yeah, I do want to caveat. The other person that was constantly exactly where he needed to be in fights was actually Poltron. On that Rakan, he was constantly landing 3-4-man quicknesses. That last fight, the Gnar goes in, lands a massive ult. The only reason they don't lose there immediately was Poltron.
Yeah, I think Foreigner and Stella as a duo, able to find all these angles. The charms were immaculate, able to just lock down, find these big assassinations in crucial targets at crucial times, nullifying that top wave push with the pick onto the Orianna, finding that assassination onto the J4 around Baron, and just Stella found absolute picks across the series. MVP for the side, best player on the map for the side of who's playing today. Unfortunately for us, it's a best of 2, so he doesn't get to slam dunk that in place for a third, but best of 3.
Oh, we're being told it might be a best of 3. I thought we were playing BO2s.
No, I was very much under the impression as
BO2s.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
We're getting word in from the. I mean, what a. Yeah.
Okay. It is a draw. It is a draw. No excitement. I think we were all just really hoping that was.
Yeah, we're not Europeans, right?
Yeah. I think the person I feel most bad for, right? I mean, it has to be this top lane, right? Like Ayamaru, no offense to him, but I definitely think that was on the losing side both times around. Even like the early Gnar solo kills onto this Jace, like everything from that. It's a little bit heartbreaking if you are a fan of this team, but at least they get one win out of it at the end of it. And that puts them decently high up in these standings, looking further in towards this group stage. So, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I think there was a lot to build on as well for who's playing today. Like, look, it was a little bit rough for Ayamaru, no question, was a bit outclassed in his lane. But I will say, I think his rotations were actually quite good. I think where he was positioning in team fights, if he hadn't been super far behind, I think would have been really impactful. There's a lot to build on, as you said there. Just got to not get solo killed. And I know that's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, it's also unfortunate, like, the picks he was playing and getting smashed on, like Olaf and Jace, these are not lanes that you can happily lose gracefully on. Like, if these are the ones you sort of need to try and push, so that's probably putting him getting a little bit into positions where he wants to try and regain control, and then that puts him at risk. Whereas if he does fall himself into a Scion, into a Poppy, into these tank top laners, he knows he's going to lose gracefully. He just gets to sit on the tower, he just gets to farm. It probably means he doesn't lose these solo kills over and over again. And hey, maybe it's just Zale has cracked, and this is just an individually really poor matchup for him, and he will do fine in the rest of the rest of the series. But that was a big hole for who's playing today. So we're gonna. I hope he can get it together. I hope the team finds a way to shore up that weakness.
Yeah, lots to bring back to the drawing board as this first week of the streamed games concludes here for the OCL. It has been an absolute pleasure being your host today, joined by these two amazing casters, the VCS extraordinaires here joining me. I always love to be involved, and stay tuned for next week, guys. We've got even more action on the way. Take care, stay safe, have a good night.
And watch the LCP. Come watch the LCP.